Next on Local News 8 at 6, it's official. There's a new leader in the Idaho GOP. We'll tell you who it is. Plus, we have the latest on the 2 Americans infected by the Ebola virus. And we'll show you how Google is giving one local business a leg up on the competition. Local News 8 at 6 starts right now.
You're watching Local News 8 at 6. Local people, local news.
Good evening. You may have heard of Google Street View. Now, the internet giant is taking things one step further and giving customers a look inside businesses with a 360-degree virtual tour. Several businesses in eastern Idaho are some of the latest to sign up for the program. Local News 8's Luke Jones introduces us to the local photographer putting them on the map.
Located in the heart of Old Town Pocatello, a shop some say is like no other.
My store is really adorable.
But owner Cynthia Nafsker admits that's only when people see her shop.
A lot of boutiques and businesses are closing because more people are shopping online.
So to keep up with consumers' shopping habits, Nafsker enlisted the help of Google certified photographer Chris Burke to create a 360 tour of her business.
Google trusted photographer picks up where the Street View cars left off by taking the photography inside of businesses.
Click by click.
I actually do a series of 12 shots.
Using computer software, Burke's able to weave those shots together into one endless photo.
You can zoom in on items, do a 360-degree turnaround.
The whole process can take up to 2 hours depending on the size of the business. Shoots start at around $250, but Burke says it's well worth the money.
The main thing is it'll make her listing stand out on Google,
which Nafsker says gives her an unmistakable edge.
Now they'll be able to see my store all over the world online and see, oh, I want that dress or I want those corral boots.
In Pocatello, I'm Luke Jones.
Although Burke says she's already done this for dozens of businesses across parts of eastern Idaho, Nafsker's business will be the first in Pocatello to have a business view tour. If you'd like more information, we'll have a link on our website, localnews8.com. Let's check in right away with forecaster Christina Davies for a first look at the weather. Christina?
All right, so we do have some thunderstorms out there for much of southeastern Idaho, and this will continue for the next few days. Taking a look, we can just see that there is some lightning being produced from these thunderstorms. And into Custer County, just south of Mackay, we have this cell moving on in with some red and yellow, which means that there's heavy precipitation, and the white dots means there's some lightning. So heading towards Arco, I'll continue to track that just in case anything new comes of it. And moving down south, we see that just in to Bannock and Bingham County and Chesterfield, there is a cell moving on in, and it is dissipating a little bit, so not much of that red happening anymore. We have some yellow moving on in, and into Cassia County, we have some thunderstorm moving in as well with some lightning being produced, and there was purple in there, but that has gone out since then. And so we just have some lightning being produced. So if you are in that area, just be aware of the lightning. And into Malad, it's moving into Malad, so we just want to be aware of that as well. As far as current temperatures over Pocatello, we have some clouds out there, and it's 92 degrees and winds at 8 miles per hour. So our winds are going to stay pretty constant throughout the week, even though we do have some thunderstorms heading our way. And Blackfoot winds are at 6 miles per hour, Idaho Falls at 6 miles per hour. And so although we do have some thunderstorms, our winds are going to stay pretty constant, but our temperatures are going to drop almost 10 degrees come Monday, and I'll have more on that.
All right, thank you, Christina. After months of fighting, the Idaho GOP is announcing a new leader. Earlier today, Steve Yates was voted in as the new head of the Republican Party in Idaho. Yates is an Idaho Falls businessman. He was also an aide to former Vice President Dick Cheney. As of this morning, Republicans still had to elect 4 other party officers before adjourning. The Idaho GOP convention ended in June without electing any officers or passing any platforms. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, we have the latest on the Americans that were infected with the Ebola virus. Dr. Kent Brantley is back in the U.S. tonight. This is video of an ambulance carrying him from Dobbins Air Force Base to Emory Hospital in Georgia. The hospital has set up a special unit where he will be treated. Now, one family member is talking about how Brantley put his own life at risk to help take care of others.
I'm worried about him, yeah, I am, but he'll be okay regardless.
We spoke with Kevin Brantley at his Gwinnett County home Friday night. He says his brother, Dr. Kent Brantley, has been in Liberia since around October. Brantley and another aid worker, Nancy Wrightbull, were working with patients infected with the Ebola virus when they became infected themselves. Kevin says family members spoke with Brantley as recently as Friday, who said he was doing a little better after a rough night.
I don't know the specifics, but I know he was feeling a little bit better, and I'm hopeful for that.
Doctors at Emory University Hospital say they will be treating Dr. Brantley and Wrightbull and shared this picture with us of a specially designed isolation unit, one of only 4 like it in the country.
Patients have been evaluated and they feel they are safe to transport.
The Americans will travel from Africa one at a time on a medical flight with a special containment pod. Kevin Brantley is both relieved his brother will be getting top medical care and filled with compassion for the hundreds of others who are sick.
I feel bad for all those people there that are dying and they're scared and they can't even get what we would consider poor care.
He says his brother made the decision to stay and help others when the Ebola outbreak worsened, despite the risks to his own health.
It takes a lot of worry and care about other people to put your own life at risk for people you don't know. That's what it takes to make this world a better place too.
The U.S. government wants to be prepared in case the Ebola virus starts to spread here. They're looking at facilities like this one in Nebraska where people could be treated. The State Department contacted the Nebraska Medical Center for an on-site look at its biocontainment patient care unit.
I think what they're doing is making a roadmap of resources as a backup in case things spiral out of control.
And again, we don't have any imminent plans for a patient being transferred here. However, we are ready in case that is necessary.
The Nebraska Biocontainment Unit is the largest in the country with 10 beds. A little closer to home now, Yellowstone National Park officials are working on removing illegally constructed trails in the Beckler River area. They're also called social trails, and they're made by people who wander off the established trails near rivers and climbing routes. Park officials say their work won't affect the other hiking trails in the area. The Jackson Hole Airport is getting a new director. Jim Elwood will be taking over for Ray Bishop in September. Elwood most recently directed an airport in Colorado. The Jackson Hole Airport serves 300,000 commercial air travelers a year. Disposable wipes are causing plumbing problems in Burley. The makers of the wipes say they're flushable, but workers say the wipes are clogging up their system because they don't disintegrate. They can get tangled up and jam equipment. They can also get caught in tree roots in the sewer lines. Wastewater workers say every time there's a problem, it's costing the taxpayers money. The 2-day Little Buckaroo Rodeo ends tonight in Firth. Participants kicked off today's rodeo with a breakfast in Firth City Park. The rodeo itself includes pony races, sheep riding, even sheep dressing. Not any sheep at this breakfast, but there were potatoes and lots of other great food. Organizers say the rodeo's an annual tradition, now entering its 49th year.
Kids come from all over the place and they ride sheep and chase chickens and ride calves and rope goats and milk goats, and they do all kinds of fun stuff, and it's just kind of a way for the kids to come out and have fun.
After the breakfast, rodeo organizers held a small parade through the streets of Firth. A bit of a car craze today as Volkswagens invaded Toffus Park in Idaho Falls. It's part of the VW Invasion Car Show. The show featured old VWs and newer models from the newly opened Teton Volkswagen. Folks from eastern Idaho cruised in from around the area to attend. Coming up on Local News 8, we'll tell you how this man duped 2 people into paying him $28,000.
And thunderstorm activity is increasing for tonight, and I'll have more on when we can expect these thunderstorms throughout the day.
You're watching Local News 8 at 6. Local people, local news.